Morning student. Today we'll cover the application of non-metal from chapter 4, class 8, science chemistry. So let's start. We have already came across the physical and chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Here is the recap of the non-metal properties. Let's start with the physical property. So we know that non-metals are having contrast property from that of metals. For example, non-metals are non-lustrous, non-malleable, non-ductile, except some. There are some exceptions too. For example, carbon fibers are ductile. Okay, some carbon compound like graphite are conductors. So these are the properties. Non-metals are non-sonorous. They do not produce any ringing sound when heated against any hard or tough substance. Non-metals do not conduct heat and electricity. What is the exception? Exception is graphite. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity and hence being used in the batteries. Now, chemical properties of non-metals are what? These are non-metals react with oxygen to form their oxide. Like metal, non-metal also do react with oxygen and they form non-metallic oxide. The nature of non-metallic oxide is acidic or neutral. Now, acidic nature means what? They will change the color of blue litmus to red. In general, non-metal do not react with water, though they may be very reactive in air. This is a very important point. Non-metal generally do not react with water. That is the reason we keep the very reactive non-metal phosphorus under water. We cannot keep it in air, but they do not react with water, and hence where we store the phosphorus, we store the phosphorus under water. Non-metal do not react with acid in general. So these are some physical properties and chemical properties of non-metal. Okay. Next, we'll see the application of non-metal. We know different non-metals. Okay, we find different non-metals around us. For example, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, then sulfur powder, then phosphorus. So many non-metals are there. Some noble gases like helium, argon. So we get different application of non-metal in our day-to-day life. Let's see what are this. First one given, use of oxygen for inhaling, for breathing, for survival of life. You know, oxygen is the essential one, essential element. The oxygen necessary for all living beings to survive is a non-metal. Now, for survival, we need the oxygen. And what is this oxygen? This is a non-metal. Next, for the plant growth, we need the fertilizer. You know, the common fertilizer is what? NPK. Now, N is what? Nitrogen. Your P is phosphorus and potassium. K is potassium. Potassium is metal, but other two is non-metal. So here it is given, some non-metals are used as fertilizer to enhance the growth of plants. Next, chlorine, use of chlorine. In the picture you can see the boy is cleaning the water. The boy is killing the germs in the water by adding some drop of chlorine. So what is the use of chlorine? Some non-metal, for example chlorine, are used for water purification. But here you have to remember that while disinfecting the water or while killing the germs in water, the amount of chlorine must be maintained. Otherwise, it will become poisonous. Next, the use of iodine. There is a disease called goiter, which results in the swelling of the throat. To cure the goiter, it is always being advised to take the iodized salt. Perhaps you have heard it, right? Now, iodine is what? Iodine is a non-metal. It is used to cure goiter disease, and also its solution being used as an antiseptic. When you get a wound or cut, perhaps you have seen a yellow color solution is given. Okay. Now that solution, that antiseptic solution contains iodine. Next, the use of phosphorus. You have seen the beautiful crackers. When we crack the crackers, it glow, right? It produces a bright flame. Now, what is the element, which non-metal element is being used in crackers or even in the matchstick? The element is phosphorus. So phosphorus is used in crackers, also in the tip of the matchstick. That's why when you stuck the matchstick along the side of the boxes, the red phosphorus converted into white phosphorus, and it is very reactive and hence catch fire. So you get the fire by converting the red phosphorus to white, and the white phosphorus burn in air. The last use of non-metal listed here is the hydrogen. Hydrogen is used as a rocket fuel. When hydrogen is being burnt in oxygen, they produce a lot of energy, and that energy helps the rocket to uplift and to escape the gravity of earth. So hydrogen is used as a rocket fuel. So let's sum up application of non-metal. So what you have learned, the oxygen is necessary for all living beings to survive is a non-metal. Some non-metals are used as fertilizer to enhance the growth of plant. What are these? Nitrogen and phosphorus. Some non-metals are used for water purification. Guess which non-metal? Yes, the answer must be chlorine. Some non-metals are used as antiseptic. It's iodine. Non-metal used in cracker is phosphorus. Now let's solve some question answer. Here are also two columns given, column A and column B. You have to match column A with column B. In column A you see some metals and non-metals are listed. First one given oxygen, then copper, sulfur, iron, chlorine. And in column B their applications are given for making cracker, for disinfecting water, all living beings inhale during breathing, for making electrical wires, for making rail. Okay, oxygen. So what is the use of oxygen? Use of oxygen is all living beings inhale during breathing. What is the use of copper? Copper is being used for making electrical wire. Sulfur, use of sulfur is it won't be sulfur, it must be phosphorus. Okay, sulfur also can be used for making crackers. And iron is being used for making electrical rails. Last slide you have seen the picture of rail engine made up of iron. And chlorine is used for disinfecting water. So this is your match. The answers are given, you can check the answers. Next, which non-metal is essential for our life and all living beings inhale it during breathing? Is oxygen. Name two major non-metal which are present in fertilizer and enhance the growth of plants. Nitrogen and phosphorus. Which non-metal is used to disinfectant water? Is chlorine. A purple color non-metal form a brown solution in alcohol which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic. Which non-metal? Iodine. Next, Soloni took a piece of burning charcoal and collected the gas evolved in a test tube. How will she find the nature of the gas? Write down the word equation of all this reaction taking place in the process. Now, at first you have to know what is the element present in charcoal. So, charcoal is a compound made up of element carbon. So, burning charcoal means what? Carbon will react with oxygen. Burning will take place in air, and in air you know that oxygen is the most reactive element. So carbon will burn with oxygen. When carbon non-metal combine with oxygen, what they form? They form carbon dioxide, and heat is also being produced. It evolves heat. Now carbon dioxide gas, to test the carbon dioxide gas, what we do, we pass the gas through lime water. Lime water is just like water, transparent in color, but as soon as you pass the carbon dioxide through lime water, it will become milky. So what will be your answer? How will she confirm the nature of the gas? Which gas? Carbon dioxide gas, right? So for this, the evolved gas, that is carbon dioxide, should be passed into a test tube which is filled with lime water. If the lime water turns milky, it shows that the evolved gas is carbon dioxide. The word equation for this process is carbon plus oxygen forming carbon dioxide and heat. The reaction produce lot of heat along with the product. So that's your answer.